And we are live. Good afternoon, alienated parents, alienated grandparents, alienated children, family, friends. We have specialists out there, doctors, lawyers, anyone that's listening to us. Thank you for joining myself, Mary Auld-Kovacs, and Andy Martens from the Andy Martens Show. And we have our special guest back once a month. We have Yani Kühn from Charlottetown, PEI, gorgeous island down east, if anyone needs to know that. But Andy's from the Sioux, St. Marie, also surrounded by waters. And I am from Hamilton, Ontario, surrounded by our lakes here as well. So we're all near water, which is, pretty calming and cool. So but welcome, Andy and Yanni. Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk, Real Talk. Today's subject today is parent alienation and family court. So, Andy and I have a little announcement we like to say before we start the show. And I'm going to let Andy speak while I share this program. I would like all of you out there to share, and help support us alienated, targeted parents, grandparents, children, whoever, if you know how to give us pointers and solutions, we appreciate it. Put it in the comment box and welcome, Andy.
Thank you, Mary. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, yeah, ever since I was doing these shows for three and a half years plus, parental alienation has been a really big deal. And now we've just climbed the hill to a higher level because it's important because we are going to start small and work our way up to bigger, bigger and things that will lead to the opportunity that Mary and thousands of people in Canada, Ontario, and the United States are going through this and the issue of cameras in the courtroom and so on and so forth. Uh, I thought it would be a long shot when I thought about the idea a couple of weeks ago or whenever it was to email the Attorney General of Ontario, Doug Downey, who's the member of Barrie Ordonto, which is MPP of Barrie and North there to Aurelia. But now it's turned out to be the case that I just got off the phone with them half an hour ago that we are set to go do an interview tomorrow morning at 11:45 Eastern Daylight Time. It'll be a short interview, but like I say, it's starting small to build a relationship with the Attorney General of Ontario, with the Attorney General's department, because guess what, folks? The Attorney General's department or ministry oversees family court and civil court. Well, civil may be shared, but family court is a provincial jurisdiction. And that's where all this stuff happens. So to build a relationship with the Attorney General of Ontario is extraordinary. We start that tomorrow. This is one of the biggest interviews I've done in the last 10 years. It can't be taken for granted. And uh, they've accepted our questions as such. So, and I wouldn't do it any other way than with Mary Auld-Kovacs. So that's where we're at, and we will share it to social media as soon as we can. We're not doing it on StreamYard. We're doing it on Zoom. So I'm a rookie with Zoom, but we have a meeting tonight with somebody who knows Zoom. Can we do it live to social media on Zoom? We will get it to social media as soon as we can. All right, Mary, we're at the dance, and I wouldn't be want to be there here without anybody with but you. So, oh, now we lost her. All right. So, Yanni, what can you give us a brief a synopsis of your situation, high level, for any new viewers that might not be familiar with your situation? Okay. Oh, hold
Yeah,
that
sure.
thought. Mary's back. Anyway, what I was saying before she left, I wouldn't want to do this with anybody but Mary. And now we are there. We're knocking on the door. We have the key, and we're going to walk in tomorrow morning.
Thank you so much for that, Andy. Can you hear me? Can you see me? I'm having problems here. We've been taken off on some of the platforms. There we go. And I'm trying to get StreamYard to reconnect. But yeah,
Oh,
this
Mary,
is
it's not the proper week, not the week we need this stuff to happen.
well, that's just it. So it's a dangerous game out there when we're dealing with, what we do, because they want to silence us in a lot of different ways. And by using my platforms to block me from sharing all this information out there, I mean, they know we are doing good, but we're hurting them.
Before
So,
we get to Yanni, I wanted to ask you, because you're the parent that hasn't seen their children for 20 years. By the way, I moved into my house 20 years ago, August 27th, 2004. But
wow.
how important, we're starting small, but how important in your eyes is talking directly to the Attorney General of Ontario one on one tomorrow with all the stuff, never mind cameras on the courtroom, but all the stuff you've been going through? It really is an important step, isn't it?
Oh, it's incredible. It's like my heart is beating for millions of children out there, millions of parents, grandparents who are suffering the way I've been suffering. Um, it's an honor to get, to this point, to speak about how the pain, the sorrow, the illnesses that develop with parents that have been taken away from their child. It's no different than having someone come off the street and take yours, and the police say, oh, well, kid's gone, deal with it. This is what the family courts have done to our children. And, when I fought till they were 18, um, I went to the judge and I said, look, I haven't seen them in 3 years. And he said, well, what do you want me to do? They're 18. This is what they plan. How about getting our kids help? To the point where they can reunify as a young adult with the parent, because that'll traumatize them. And my adult children for 19 years had to endure the pain that I suffered for 30 years. Parent alienation is domestic abuse. Um, Mentally, psychologically, emotionally, it destroys the inside of the human, where your heart feels like it's ripped out, your voice is being strangled. I mean, your heart is full of tears, and it should be more. You've raised those kids all those years, no matter how many years you've had them, and then poof, they're taken away. It's like a living death, because they're out there, but you can't reach out. They're being blocked. You're being blocked. Courts are saying no, 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 no. Then they say, oh, our hands are tied. They're 18. Come on, wake up, world. So,
Exactly. We have
yeah.
to follow a tightrope with questions on air, but doesn't mean off camera we can't have a quick conversation provided the Attorney General has a few minutes after the interview. But let the viewers know, but that's okay. That's what they requested, and we're here now. We're going to do what it takes to start building a relationship with the Attorney General Ministry in Ontario, because that's where we both live. Anyway, let's
Right.
get to Yanni here, and he's always got some good points to make about the whole process of parental alienation.
Hello, and thank you for having me here. And I just have to mention that I have to leave in 3 minutes
Oh,
because there's a break in the case. And that was the time that I messaged you on. But anyway, So it's listening to Mary's story. It underlines the importance of how we have very short period of time to work. And when you have a short period of time, the best thing you can do is, let's say your ship capsize. First thing is you have to relax, calm down the best you can, so that you can see the opportunities that are there. Otherwise, you won't be able to see that. Number two is focus on the most important things first. Now, in that moment, most of the things will also be relevant. But when a court case is very long, like in most of the high conflict divorce cases, we tend to lose track of that. And then we might be busy with stuff that are important but not urgent, or at least not relevant. So it's important but it's not relevant, and then we spin our wheels. Other times it might be relevant but it's not important, and then you also spin your wheels. So I wanted to talk and share about having a long custody case in compared to a short one. When there's a short one, the narcissist, being a master manipulator, have the upper hand, or any high conflict person, because they are usually also manipulators. So in that short period of time, they can manipulate like crazy, and that's how they got you in the situation in the first place. Now, we as parents, we love our children. We want to have a short trial so that we can get access, and they have the right to access parents. So we want to give that to them to help with their development. And after they are 12, they can choose where they are going to stay. So even if you fight and they are already choosing, it's not going to help, because even if you win and they all believe you, there's nothing they can do, because the child has a choice after 12 years of age.
Mhm.
So in a long case, their patterns of behavior are much more visible. The best evidence you get are from their own statements under oath. And then you can make a list of all the false, misleading, and exaggerated statements. And then you say, this is what they said, this is what the bank statement said, or this is what the tax return said, or this is what they said in the previous thing. And then you put that on contradictions, because that will show the court what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a manipulator. They change the facts, the details of the stories. So you can only see that over a period of time. That's why we know only of 25% of the people that are damaged. In high conflict divorces, when there's a case where they say there's allegations, 75% of them are true, but 25% are false, according to the court. And the only way they know that is because the parents kept going back to court, and over a period of time, years many times, then they discovered, but the manipulator lied back then. And that's how they know it's 25%. But a lot of parents give up a week or 2 weeks after the things start. We don't even know how many people there are. So if we do a conservative estimation, that's 30%. But when I speak to people, it makes me think it's even more than that, because now you get children that you are now adults, and they could see the damage that the alienator did, and now they fight for other people's rights. So I have to be excused, and I thank you for the opportunity here. And my lawyer messaged me this morning, and we have to move with the momentum that's there. Like I said, we have a short period of time. Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome, Yanni. Thank you for coming on. Sorry about the delay. When you're talking to the Attorney General's office, you can't, we got to put everything else aside, even though it's our show. Let's talk real talk. But good luck today and in your case. And again,
Is your
thank you.
your case virtual? Is it online, or how's it going to happen?
Oh, I don't know yet. I'm just going to go see the lawyer, and he needs some information to file a motion.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Okay.
We can come and join you on Zoom if it is on Zoom. We are allowed to have people come from the public to support you. So if you need supporters, we're there for you. Okay.
till we get the recordings in the thing, and then we can go there with each other. Thank you.
Right. You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Yanni. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye. So
Well,
it's you and me, kid.
you and me. Yeah. I just received another email from the Attorney General's office,
Oh, did
and
you?
let the people out there know that they do not want us to share the interview live until they have a chance to look at it. And I'm not surprised. So there you go, folks. You want to play in the big leagues, you gotta be willing to be totally flexible and live up to your promises, because otherwise it's not going to happen. So
So
we will not share it live, and
yeah.
we will have to wait until we get approval from the minister and the press secretary to share it. But
Right.
that's
Yeah.
okay.
I've
I'm
been
not
saying that.
surprised. I'm
I've
not
been saying
surprised.
that we have to wait till it's been because it's recorded, right? So when they approve it, then we could share it.
That's right. And we got to
Yeah.
get some
Yeah.
quick training
We all
tonight.
know how it works, and people got to be patient, but it's good to know, to let the viewers out there know that we're taking that step, one step further and one step
We
closer
are, we
to.
are, and I mean, I've done this before, and you don't get to the final step on with these people, politicians at the provincial level or the federal level. How long have you been trying to get Justin Trudeau on this program, Mary?
3 years. three
Yeah,
years now. We got as far as Karina Gould's office. That was the step below Trudeau. We're very proud of ourselves for doing it. We would like to have a face-to-face meeting with her in Burlington. She's the
but you haven't even been able to do that, and you're close to Burlington.
yeah.
Uh,
So we're planning on this for this Saturday with Graham Worthington, Wendy McDonald. We want to go, not walk the streets like we did always in front of the constituent offices. As we learn over the years how to approach our constituents, we need to be on their side. We need to be there instead of bombarding them with oh, this and this and this. No, we just need to be there to educate them on what we deal with and how the family court system is working against us and taking children. And I mean, this all ties into the domestic abuse and everything else that's happening in these court systems, because abusers are getting away with 12-month peace bond. They're not being, the victim, I don't like to say victim, the survivors are not getting recognized anywhere in court to do with family issues. So,
right,
to approach our constituents and ask them to help us to, it doesn't take much to sign a petition,
right,
right? We're not asking them to change a bill or anything. I mean, it's all out there. We just
right. That's
want
right,
them to recognize what's happening and to help us to stop it and keep families united.
right. I had a tight timeline too, but you and I talked about yesterday the narcissist and all the sex and supply, and the narcissist never wants to compromise or do anything. There's no feeling, and I saw that firsthand with my uh, brother-in-law from my wife's youngest brother, and it was foreign to me. I go, what the heck's going on here? I'm not used to this kind of nonsense.
Well, I grew up um with it since I met my ex-husband at 18. He had a little sister. All I heard was how she got in the way. She took away his thunder because she was born 11, 12 years after he was a teenager with a baby sister. So he got neglected because it was just him and mommy for all those years without a stepfather until he turned 13 or 14, something like that. So the 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 bond between him and his mom, and then someone else interferes, it kind of puts them like jealous. They rage, they get bullied, or they become bullies, and because they're not getting all that attention. So him and his sister had no communication. And if it wasn't for me, that little girl would never have grown up with her brother, because she became my little sister. I never had one, so I welcomed her into my life as if she was my own sister, to be pushed away by her, because now she's protecting the abusive brother in order to keep in the family, because if she didn't, she would be alienated from him. But she alienated the mom and her dad, which is the ex's stepfather, the same way. She used the same scenario as my ex did to keep that young girl away from me, from having her for long weekends and stuff, till one day she flew over to see me in Germany, and I'm thinking, wow, that's cool. He didn't want anything to do with her, so it just goes to show that it's hatred, jealousy that these narcissists are feeling inside. They can't
Oh,
get
big time,
over themselves. They
big
can't
time.
share. They can't share the love. They can't. Oh, how do you say it? They can't even in breathe in the love. They don't think
No,
of love. They think of revenge, how to abuse you, how to get back at you, how to take away something from you. It's something twisted in their minds, because nobody is born to think that way. We're all born to hug and, oh, so cute, cuddly and all this stuff. And when you got two people that's one and the other, it's so hard to find the
and I
middle
don't think
balance.
your children were born to be a narcissist. They weren't born to think that way.
No, they were not born. They were born to love. They were so three little loving children together. And then when the father came home, he would twist them to become mean to each other, mean to me, just so that he could have them go to him separately, not together, separately, so that he would give them each a different something, or give one something and the other two nothing.
Right.
So
Well,
these kids,
there's the difference, Mary. A narcissist is conditional love,
yes.
and not unconditional love, and that's a bad way to do things.
Yes, exactly. I've seen that in my own family growing up with seven brothers, and they got a chocolate bar dangling. Who loves mommy or daddy the most? So they all run, but not all of them got it. The
Right.
the the chosen one got it. The
And
the
I saw that in my
child.
mother's family with her brother, and even in my family, she did the same thing because the brother was favored over her, so she favored my sister over me. I got
Right.
sent to boarding school in Aurora, Ontario. So, this favoritism is the beginning of a big problems because what did my uncle grow up to be? He grew up to be a narcissist, punching his wife in the face, hitting his kids because of the favoritism as a kid.
Yes. And that's how my ex-husband grew up. He was favored by everybody in the family because he was fatherless. His father was taken at 9 months of age. He grew up with no father. Everybody else, all his cousins, I had a mom and a dad. grew up together. His cousins didn't want anything to do with him because he bullied them. It was just so sad to watch. But for me to get bullied to marry him was even harder because it was either life or death. And if
Were
I
you
did
married for what, 20 years?
27,
How did you put up
um,
with that for 27 years?
thank God for the military. They took him away 6 to 12 months a year. We had a break. He did what he did out in the field, came home. Sometimes he came home and diseased me, but I was well taken care of medically and all that. But he just, whenever he came home, it only lasted 4 days. By the fourth day, he became agitated and wanted to sleep, didn't want anything to do with us. We wake him up, and poof, we get a punch here and a punch there or a slap here because it's just he was used to being alone for 6 months or 12 months. We step in his face. It's not like he stepped in our face. We stepped in his face because behind that door, that house was his. He always told me if I ever left them, I get nothing. I would, sometimes he even threatened to kill me if I left him, and that I would never know what he did with my children. And I had to live that life for 27 years. And I'm still living that life because I know what he said back then, he's done it to my kids. And this is why alienation needs to be recognized, because these are psychological um, torture that the kids had to endure and listen to. Oh, you're the one that wanted them. You take care of them. I mean, you're their dad. You should be doing things with them. Why would you push them on to me when I've been with them for the last 6 months? They need their dad. Be a dad. A lot of these narcissists don't know how to be.
They should not have children. I'm
No,
a firm believer in that.
they shouldn't. They shouldn't. I mean, it's so hard to watch them push the kids away. They're eating, like, he would eat cookies in front of them, and the kids would ask for one. He wouldn't give them one. He'd make them cry. Anything so that mom had to go rescue them. It was horrifying. It was really bad. So when he was gone, it was like it was like a weight lifted off our full, like, even the kids' shoulders. They felt great. Mom, can we do this? Can we do that? Do we have to eat now? It was freedom.
But
It
at
was
the end, the damage was done at the end, all of that, after
because
27 years.
Yes, because they crave their dad. They craved him. That's no different than us not being able to get away from them. It's because they say we crave the abuse. It's not the abuse we crave. We crave our life that we built. We
Right,
want that, right? And they know it. They know it. We're not leaving because we had nothing, or, well, a lot of us didn't have a lot. We worked up to it, and we built a good, secure life for the kids. And then the alienator sees that you're looking after those kids over them. So
right,
they fight, they use the kids, they take everything away from you that made sure that they were well looked after. They weren't hanging out at night. They weren't hanging out with bad kids. They go to church, they go to school. I did everything, all that
right.
without.
I I do have to go, Mary, but we have a busy week coming up. We'll see you tonight at our meeting, and tomorrow is a big day. And what do we have coming up on Thursday?
On Thursday we have Joan Claus Zanard and Philip. Oh my goodness. Oh, just blanked out. On
That's
legislative assemblies in the U.S.
all right. Wonderful. What a way to end the summer, isn't it? The one
Yeah,
big week this week, and and then Sunday we don't have a show because it's Labor Day weekend already.
right, right,
All
right.
right. Okay, Mary, we'll see you tonight.
Thank you, Andy.
We can hold the show, two of us. No problem.
No problem. Just like,
Okay. Take
okay,
care.
bye,
See
Andy.
ya.
Bye. Good night to all you alienated parents, alienated children, grandparents out there. Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk, Real Talk, and we will see you on Thursday. Goodbye.